Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 25 of the 2024 NRL SuperCoach season. So a pretty good week for myself with a 1492, which was actually good enough for top 4% for the round. I know it was pretty good, but I guess I did see a few higher scores, so I was surprised it was that high, and I guess also surprised that I jumped up 1100 spots in the ranks, maybe owing to the fact that there is a few people who have just run out of trades, whereas I'm still hanging on to one for dear life. You'll probably get it used this week to try and get the head-to-head GF win. As you can see as well, 3 league wins out of 4. This is probably the number most of us are looking at this time of year. So I'm pretty happy with that. I was hoping updates could get me across the line in the 4th one as well, but just missed out, which was a small cash league. But I got my main one, so I'm making a profit this year, which is always a win. But I guess in terms of all things SuperCoach nuffs, we'll look at my team, we'll look at the preliminary finals and preview those GFs, and then ponder what to do with one trade left. But Harry Grant was immense with a 129. The Storm are dominant against the Dolphins. I guess the risk with Harry Grant, though, is he'll probably get a rest this week. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of people sitting out for the Storm, not travelling up to Townsville, which is entirely fair enough. They've locked up the minor prem home semi-final in Melbourne week 1 with the chance of a week off. So, massive advantage. You might as well take it. Reed Marnie, continues to underwhelm with the 45, but we may just have to play him this week if we decide to use our trade elsewhere rather than upgrading or changing the hooker. The forwards, Mitch Barnett with a 41, was playing out on the edge, so sort of struggled to get involved, and I guess, the Bulldogs didn't give him a lot of free space, just wrapped him up every time he had the ball. Fanua Blake was quite good though, 77, tried to lift to get SJ a win, but wasn't to be. Semi-Alafani was quite good. Junk time try, you love to see it. 86 points. Obviously on the bye this week, but very comfortable using him in round 27. When it probably doesn't matter for head-to-head, and we just need as many overall points as we can get. Josh Curran didn't play with Max King coming back. They gave him a well-deserved rest. Hopefully he's back this week. Big game against Manly. Top 4 possibilities are still on the table. So I think, if he needs one more week, I can understand. But I guess as a SuperCoach, I do need him back for round 27. Our forwards, so Angus Crichton probably got me the head-to-head win in the big cash league. Pretty sure my opponent didn't have Angus. I'd stacked up on the Roosters trying to get the advantage there, and he was the one that popped off, scoring 3 tries, doing the business. So thank you, Angus, for the profitable year. Eli Katoa with an 86, so another massive rest threat, given we know what he is capable of doing. Dave Fafita with 42, struggled in the hot conditions there at the Gold Coast on Sunday. Another Sunday Arvo game, although in Newcastle, so hopefully a bit cooler, but I know we're in the sort of front end of this heat wave that they were predicting at the moment. I've got the AC on in the background, might be affecting the microphone a little bit, but winter is done, at least here in southeast Queensland. Britton Nickora with a 98, so he was massive. I did have his reserve initially, and then I was trying to sort of cover my opponent in my big cash league. He had Eero, and I was worried Eero would go massive. Nickora might, fall down and get a concussion or something. But they were both quality. So, yeah, missed out on the 98 points. Would have been nice to have him over Fafita. Would have got me the other head-to-head win. But so it is. At halves, so Sammy Walker with 68. I thought, for how many points the Roosters scored. He might have got a bit more, but just yeah, he can have that. That was always the risk with Sam Walker, but he's fine in the halves for the rest of the season. Matty Burton, 101. So I guess, for those that had Jerome Hughes, he scored, I think, a 130 as well. So having Birdo sort of cover Hughes' score was very helpful with head-to-heads this week. So, between him and Angus, I love them both. Dylan Brown with a 40, Jai Gray with 45. I was hoping for a little bit more from both, but just didn't quite work out that way. Possibly upgrade one of them this week would be the play, I think, for the final round, or final 2 rounds, I should say. Our centre wings, so Kiraz was solid, 53. That's his floor. He does what he does. Lomax got a nice try, 73 points. Dom Young scored a try and scored 35 points. I watched bits of the game. I was sort of driving around for a lot of it. I know he was denied one, I saw, because his foot was on the line. So, it could have been better. But again, I was worried about his upside. So, brought him in as cover. And I guess he did the job in that sense. Ruben Garrick with a 61 was, fine. Again, against the Tigers, would have loved a bit more. But, not everyone can have all the points. Ero, another one who was massive. I thought I saw he scored higher, but must have got downdated a bit, which, might have cost me in that head-to-head. I think I had Ero was the difference on my side in that last game. So it's all right. It happens. He was good. I can't, take anything away from him. Tongi with 53 scored a try, so that's about what he scores. And McLean, I guess, blanking in the sense, not really getting too involved in the attack, and 21 was the outcome there. And then the fullbacks, so we captained Teddy, 130, which, after Turbo scored a 150 and everyone VC'd him, I thought, I've pulled the wrong rein here. Even my big Cash League head-to-head opponent had done that. But Teddy again sort of covered it, a bit like Birdo with Hughes. It was enough just to sort of keep me in the area, and then the likes of Crichton, Katoa, even Harry Grant's a bit of a differential. Got the job done. But yeah, we'll look at the games. So I guess in the Nuffs League, did get the win in the end on updates over Pole in my heart. So great game, Jaden. So, another early adopter of the Tommy Turbo VC. Also had Tedesco, had Nicola. So, honestly, I think it was just, like Harry Grant sort of covering Nicola plus a bit. Birdo outscoring Cherry Evans by a lot. So it was very close, but yeah, just snuck in over the line. But I guess the games that really matter, we've got Canberra Milk defeating Wayne's Train. So for the Milk, we've got Jerome Hughes with the 132, Angus with the 132, Captain Tedesco, Ponga with a 97. So they both had Ponga. He was quite good for Newcastle. But probably, the likes of Burton and Hughes, although I guess Dane Gagai was massive too. So, yeah, just maybe that extra ton in there. Angus Crichton, the third ton in the unique players, getting the job done for the Milk. And Griffin Meme getting a win over Guns N' Roses, another high-scoring one. So 14.55 for Shoab, not quite enough. And again, the Patton Turbo Captain Teddy was fine. So I guess not having Tedesco might have cost Shoab there. Ponga, 97 was good. But yeah, I guess, there's sort of the usual suspects there. No one else we've really not mentioned yet going off. Little with 73, so he might actually be a really handy point of difference if I do trade Grant at hooker. So I think these guys were top 2 from memory, so well deserved. Reese and Justin. Good luck in the GF. We'll do a bit of a preview and we'll line up the teams then, but it's all about the review at the moment. Second league, we've got Team Rob getting the win over, obviously, Oblivious. So, captain. So it looks like even though, a lot of people went the captain on Teddy, it worked out all right over VCing Turbo. Just given, I guess, just coincidence, maybe the depth of the squad. He sort of took my playbook there with Garrick as VC. Didn't quite work out. Tarpany with a 97. That's a great return. Harry Grant with the 129 we've talked about. Dane Laurie with a 97. I'm pretty sure he's playing on the wing, so that's pretty nice returns from him. But another Eli Katoa owner. And for obviously Oblivious went the VC on Turbo. Had Tedesco, but the supporting cast was not that great around him. Unfortunately. Laurie and Crichton were good, but were covered. And short dropout, getting a good win over the Shermanators. 1,500 is fair to, I guess, well deserved. So Captain Turbo, Appy Coruscant with 81. I don't think I mentioned him. That's quite nice. Although on the bye this week, so I guess, if you've got like Coruscant and Grant, you are in a little bit of trouble this week. As long as you've got trades, you'll be okay. Fermor with 88 was quite good. And for the Shermanators, not sure how they ended up with 1280 looking at some of the squad. I guess just maybe like Cherry Evans didn't quite pop off as everyone hoped he would. Max King found his way back in, so must have just been a long hold there. Isaiah Yeo turned up. He's one I'm thinking I do need to get in this week with my final trade, just because he's been immense with Cleary down and out. Even before then, he's just lifting his work rate into the finals very nicely. Tarpany, Ponga. So yeah, I don't know how that adds up to 1280. It looks a better score than that, but I guess my maths isn't that great. So we've again 1 and 2 in the final. I think that's pretty close to how it worked out in the rounds. So well done and good luck to both of you. Third league, we got Failing Big, Going Big with a 1589, defeating Keggers. So 1589, we got Tommy Turbo, we've got Hughes and Grant and Tedesco, Nicara, Iro, Angus, a lot of the big hitters there. Tarpany as well with a 97, but we've talked about all them already. And the other one, so Shake and Bake sneaking in with a 1349 over Goodbye. Looks like they're both playing pretty tight 17s, both going the auto emergency. Although I think Shake and Bakes might have just been injury based, given Curran wasn't playing. But both got the double score from Turbo, which is nice. Liam had Jerome Hughes, but I guess just some solid scores there, and the likes of Coppiner, 18 from Pierce Paul, 13 from RTS, unfortunately went off injured. I think he was one that featured in my big cash league opponents head to head, so I was happy enough with it, but as an owner, you'd be a bit flat. Luai, he was one I tossed up and it didn't work out, so sort of glad I went the way I did. It could have gone Hughes, obviously, and that would have been quite nice, but I went Walker. So I'm pretty sure, Liam was number 1 going into the final, so that's tough lines there. But Failing Big and Shake and Bake, good luck in the final this week. So I guess in terms of moves this week initially, early word is that the Storm will be resting players. So you imagine Grant and Katoa would almost be at the top of that list, but I guess Nicara I'm more than happy to bring into the team. Marnie, with his form, I'm not as convinced, but he's dropped off so much that with only 60k in the bank, I can't do too much with that trade in the hooker position. So I'm going to probably have to just stick fat with Marnie, copper 40, and work around that essentially. Got the two Warriors guys. Hopefully, a big finish to send off SJ. Um, and, might just want to, prove themselves against the Sharks, another big pack of forwards. Fanua Blake might want to give the Sharks fans a preview of what they're in for next year. Pretty sure he's going to the Sharks. I might have that wrong, but pretty sure that's where he's going. Second row is good enough. Hopefully, again, Fafita is not as affected by the heat. But with sort of nothing really to play for the Titans, I don't know if they'll flog him. So could be a possible trade out there. The halves, I'm pretty happy with Walker and Burton. I'll hold them. But as I said, it could be one of these 5/8s that makes way. Centre wings, I think, are pretty decent. I guess if I was going to trade one, it'd probably be Garrick, but at the lower price, I can't get a couple of those elite upgrade options, so I might just try and use what I've got. And I guess for a really pod move, there might be a fullback trade on, Newcastle against the Titans in Newcastle. Final spot, hopefully on the line still for them. Could be a big one for 1K Ponga this week. So I guess, in terms of options, I've just talked about Ponga at fullback. I do like as an option. Centre wings, I guess if we do just pull Garrick out for a second. Val Holmes back this week, so if you can afford him or you've already got him, definitely against an understrength Melbourne side would be worth a look. Seen a few people with Sarko, playing the Broncos who, got the win over Para, but it was probably just, one really bad team given points to a, slightly better but still not fantastic team. And again, with the season on the line, hopefully, the Dolphins lift. Broncos hopefully lift too. It should be a good game. But, at a discount, could be worth a punt. Dan Gagai would be the other one. So, Holmes and Gagai would be my two targets this week. Again, in form against the Titans in Newcastle, Sunday Arvo. I think, my head-to-head opponent in the GF of the big cashy has got Gagai, and I'm very scared of him. Brian Toto, could go big against Souths. So, again, if you need to go down from Gagai and Price, there's that option. And then after that, you can take a punt on someone like a Dylan Lucas, again, from Newcastle. Looked good on the weekend. Greg Marzu against his old team, might just add a little bit more spice to it. So obviously I've targeted a few of the Knights guys there, but that's the direction I would sort of look. And obviously the other one, like I said, Cowboys against the watered down Storm team. Kyle Felt, if he's playing, I don't think he is. Although he might be because he's played 21 games this year, so what do I know? Bo Fermor is a cheeky pod available at centre wing. But we'll have a look at some other options. So in the 5/8 and halfback as well. So I guess Tyron Wishart for a 1 week sort of punt, given that you imagine he'll be in the half somewhere playing 80 minutes. I think maybe they'll play Munster just given he's a bit down on match fitness, but definitely Hughes will be sitting out. Tom Dearden on the other side of the coin, I can actually afford him, so that is very tempting. As a pod, not even 10% owned at the moment. Lockie Galvin's on the buy, so there could be a few people trading out Galvin. So I guess 5/8 is a very relevant conversation. Max Plath's been doing well, a little bit down last week, but should be up again against the Broncos. Cody Walker's back from his head knock, but playing against Penrith. I wouldn't be, trading in Walker. If you've got him, I think he's playable, but I don't know if the upside is quite there. After that, you're sort of taking a punt on maybe a Campbell to have an up game. You could also, if you've got the flexibility, look in the halves. Jerome Hughes, I think he'll rest this week, so don't worry about him. Obviously, if you haven't got Sam Walker, The Raiders will probably be a bit stiffer in defence than the Coast, but Sam Walker can pull something out of nowhere. DCE against the Bulldogs, I don't think there's a lot of upside there. Perhaps with Turbo, there's always upside. But aside from that, I think playing against the best defence in the league, it doesn't really open itself up to a lot of SuperCoach points. Ben Hunt against Para, so I guess that would be a bit of a pod move given he's 5% owned. 1 week sort of look. I think we've covered everyone else. Nicho Hynes, not sure if he's back yet. They might try to leave it as long as possible. But if he's back this week, it could, very much turn into the ultimate pod play to get, a player of his quality at only 6.5% owned, with, a lot of us out of trades. I don't know. I'd have to trade Burton, I think, to be able to afford him. So that's a tough ask. But it might be the play that gets me the chockies. In the second row, we could be replacing Katoa. That's fine. Just reset, please. So I think, Mitch Barnett only available this week, so that would literally be a 1 week play. Isaiah Yeo is my preferred option. At 660k is nicely priced for what he can produce. Koloamatangi moving to lock with Murray. Looks like he's going to miss the last couple of weeks of the season, which has been good for Koloamatangi in terms of SuperCoach scoring, but he is up against Penrith. So, I think that's a bit of a wash in terms of his upside. Hudson Young would be, a really interesting pod play up against the Roosters. Sunday afternoon footy, can find a try. So, leaving it to that very last game could, get it going for you. Nicker, if you haven't got him, I'd put him maybe second to Yo for this week. If you haven't got Crichton, maybe put him in the top 3 as well. Paddy Carrigan will offer a pretty decent base, as you can see, 84. So, he could be the play at 620k as well, but probably lacks the upside of those other 3 that I've just talked about. After that, you can sort of see like Cam McInnes can, get the big base scores, but, his price probably reflects what his value is. So enough said. Nanai, if you're looking for an upside play against a weakened team, he has the ability to go massive. So could be one to get on as a cheeky pod play. I guess if you want to go front row, not too much Tarpany, you could plug in. After that, I don't think anyone's worth messing with. You're not looking for upside in your front row. So Tarpany or don't stress. Just have to reset once more. And if you're going for hooker, I guess Damien Cook is number 1 by a distance, but plays Penrith this week, so I can't see a lot of upside in his score. Jacob Little's the interesting one. It's just sort of snuck his way into 3rd in terms of overall points, and I think even if you go by average and you take out Humphreys, he's sitting 4th with only Harry Grant pushing up above Cook and Coruscant, who's obviously on the bye. So Jacob Little, I guess if you're looking for a swap from Harry Grant, could be the goods. Reece Robson, again, we're talking Cowboys, a bit more of a budget play, but weakened Melbourne team could have some attack behind him. Connor Watson should be back this week. I think he was only a concussion. So, playing lock forward, he could be a goer against the Raiders. And I guess in line with Nicho Hynes, if Marshall King was named to play this week in return from injury, then he could again be an ultimate pod at 3% ownership currently. So I think, that's all the options. I think, if I had to go with a trade in this video, I'm thinking Katoa to Yo. makes the most sense. Mostly because I guess we can use Yo as a captaincy option. And I guess then what that would look like is if I put him on the field, I think Nikora plays pretty late. So I think it would have to be you'd go Tom Trbojevic in case he does go big against the Dogs. As a Dogs fan, I hope he really doesn't, but as a super coach, I could use his points. And then into Yao as captain. Obviously, the issue with that is the tight turnaround. So Turbo plays Friday night, and then Yo plays straight after. So you'd have to be, pretty switched on. Cancel your plans on Friday night, watch some footy, and be ready to go on that. And then in terms of the other players, I want Nikora in. I think Gray against Penrith isn't the smartest option. I think Saturday Arvo at Combank sort of makes me think Brown is playable. But he can probably go on the bench since I've already got Burton playing beforehand. And then other than that, I will pretty much stick fat. Maybe McLean could come in for Garrick. That's the, I can't see Garrick getting a big upside score against the Dogs, but I don't really have too many other options at this point. So I think that's the plan at the moment. Like obviously there's a few days. Look at team lists on Tuesday. Look at what my opponent's got going on in the head-to-head leagues, and make my decision from there. But gut feeling is Isaiah Yeo is going to be my man. All right, but we'll wrap the video up there. So as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the SuperCoach content. If you're looking for something else to do during the summer months, we do have the NFL Dream Team getting set up. I was going to do a video over the weekend and then just everything got away from me. It's probably too focused on my SuperCoach head-to-head stuff. But we'll talk about some alternate options in that and update the team. Not that there's too many updates. So subscribe if you want to follow along with that and the FPL and, BBL, NBL coming up. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one.